Welcome back to another episode of Who Am I to Judge podcast. I'm Alexis.
And I am Samantha. Welcome back. We have a very special guest with us today.
New character unlocked.
Yes. My very own sister, Danielle, the Danielle Stevenson, the legend, is here.
The legend herself.
Say hi, Danielle.
Hey guys.
So yeah, Danielle's here. We are doing our 20th episode.
Yes.
We made it to 20, which is crazy. I can't believe that.
Honestly, it flew by, right?
Yes, it does not feel like we've been doing this for 20 weeks.
As you reflect on like the 20 weeks, what is like a reflection you have? I'm curious.
I mean, I'm just having so much fun. This has just been amazing. I want to like share it with more people. I was mad at myself because both me and Alexis went to Kid Fury's comedy show this weekend, and so we were seated with other people that like listen to the show. Obviously, we were talking, and I was like, "Oh my god, I need to tell them about the podcast." And then the show started, and then it was just like,
what were you gonna do? Like jump on the mic?
No, not like just to the people at my table, you know, because one of the girls was from DC, and it was Staples. So yeah, so I'm loving it. Like we get great feedback. Danielle's a listener. So
I know.
She can tell us how she has experienced.
I know you share your reflection.
Yes, I'm so obsessed with the show. Every week, every Wednesday, I look forward to it. It's on my top things to watch because I do watch you all on YouTube. I like seeing your faces.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so when I'm in the car, I try to listen.
Yeah, because we need the streams everywhere. People
stream up.
Other than that,
I love that.
Sadly, I don't want to say this, but like I low key like stopped listening to the read, and I know.
Oh my gosh!
I feel so bad, but yeah,
you just needed some fresh.
We are the new read.
Alexis. Well, we definitely want to, they have been such an inspiration to us, and we obviously love them so much. So
absolutely.
But yeah, thank you.
I love that.
What about you, Alexis? How are you feeling?
Honestly, Samantha, I feel like it just makes me love you even more and makes me think that you're like just a great friend. I feel like that's my reflections.
Alexis, don't make me want to cry. Today is an emotional day, child.
Oh God.
So, but yeah, thank you, Alexis. I love you too. I'm just like, you're probably the only person that could do this and not feel like crazy. But but yeah, let's get into the motherfucking episode. Danielle, you ready? Is you ready?
Lock in, clock in. All right, so who's on trial?
So we have a couple of things on trial. I mean, of course, we are living in historic times.
Absolutely.
Since the last time we talked to you, a lot has happened. We have a new. We're just gonna go ahead and claim it. We are about to have the first Black woman president, the first woman president, Black woman president. I feel so much hope coming into this week. But yes, being on trial doesn't always have to be a bad thing. So we are having Kamala Harris.
How do y'all feel about that? Like once y'all heard it was gonna be Kamala, what was y'all's like initial reaction?
On Sunday, so this was like a couple days ago. I mean, I was just like, what's happening? Like when Joe Biden dropped out, it was like, okay, shit, this is bad. Like,
I want to know, Alexis, do you mean when you first heard about like Biden dropping out? Is that what
Okay.
And when we heard about
I just want to clarify.
Yeah, clarify. So yeah, like I was like very shocked. I was at work at the studio, and so like people were like,
oh my gosh.
Somebody was like, Biden just dropped out. And I was like, yeah, this is like crazy, So I was and then Alexis, you called me actually and told me. But yeah, so I was just like, wow, this is I was a little discouraged at first, for sure. When I didn't know what the fuck was about to happen, I was like, oh shit, like this is bad. And then when we didn't know who they were going to appoint, I mean, I think somebody might have told me that, like, because we voted for her, like she had to be the, you know,
the candidate.
Yeah. So I feel like I did hear that, but yeah, I was just, it's been a whirlwind because like I went from like scared and like, oh no, to like, oh, like this is actually what we needed, like, and everybody's getting behind it. Like I've just been very happy with that. Like it actually feels like we have a fighting chance. And it feels really like right now it's giving Kamala Harris.
It's
Okay. How did you feel, Danielle?
Oh, well, I was shocked. And low key, I was happy the way I found out. Like, I wasn't on social media. I wasn't watching the news. Right.
Yeah, Danielle.
How did you find out then?
Samantha. She was like, oh my God, did you hear what happened? I'm like, no. What happened?
Y'all didn't even know that
oh my
Biden
gosh.
was out of the race for a second.
Yeah. So when she told me, I was just kind of, my first reaction was like fear, because I listened to AOC's like hour post about it, you know, and that just got me thinking, like, I don't know if it's the best idea, but then, I mean, it happened. So I'm just hoping that, you know, she is like putting her name on the ballot before the deadline.
Me too.
Like certain swing states, you know, things like that.
But Alexis, you told me that they
Well, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that you were saying that there's time, like the deadline.
Yes, but it's approaching, right? So hopefully they get it done in time. I feel like if you had asked me like a week ago, I would have been like, don't do it. Because I would, because honestly, I really fear that sometimes people look at Democrats right now and they're like, they're all over the place. Like they're like, you know, like they can't get behind anybody. And so I was scared that was going to make some people not just be like, fine, I'm just not going to vote. But I think now I'm saying, oh my God, this was like the best thing that could have happened. Because I mean, $80 million in 2 days. Like people are giving her money.
Yes.
And I feel like I'm seeing so many people happy about it. And like, I don't know, just celebrities are coming behind this woman. I think she has a fighting chance. I actually think she might. I mean, if it continues, I think she might win.
The polls right now I saw are leaning towards her, which is just amazing. I mean, I do feel like Black people, like when there's a chance to get a Black person,
it's all hands on deck.
Okay,
yes,
like because I know there were so many people that weren't going to vote or whatever.
And I want to talk. Like, and I told you this on the phone. I really feel like Cardi B and Victoria Monet need to make like a fucking serious official statement saying it was crazy to say they aren't voting or they're voting third party, and they won't be doing that now that it's Kamala. Because I like was scared. Like so many people were retweeting Cardi B's tweet a couple of months ago being like, yes, queen, like I'm not voting either. Like you're like, I get it, you get it. And I'm just like, I feel like a lot of people were persuaded not to vote off of like her tweet. And I also think a lot of people were thinking third party too. I need them to do an official apology.
Have they posted anything yet? Like, I'm surprised if Cardi B maybe hasn't posted anything.
She made a post on Instagram the other day just being like, I told y'all it was going to be Kamala. But it was like, you didn't humble yourself and say, I fucked up. Like,
yeah.
One thing I just wanted to, because, you know, we're watching the numbers, you know, I just wanted to say.
Danielle has her computer here.
We got our fact checker today.
I'm not playing, okay? Currently, it says that she's raised more than 100 million, which is, insane. I mean, the numbers don't lie.
I mean, this is historic. And then, go ahead.
I just want to say one more thing. Because I know that we're not, you know, I really don't think the decision happened over the weekend. So I'm hoping that, and mind you, this was in the talks for a while, just in the media and stuff. I hope that Kamala. Her team. I'm sorry,
Is
Kamala. It is. I apologize.
Let's get it right, guys.
Exactly.
We gotta get it right.
I hope that Kamala and her team like have the plan.
Yes, me
there should
too.
already
I
be
think they do.
somebody, but there should already be a running mate. You know,
they probably have somebody.
I'm
already.
sure they do.
Maybe
but
they're
I
just. I am now under the impression that they are strategic. They're being strategic as fuck. I mean, the fact
strategic but slow. I'm like, come on, like.
I agree. Like at this point, it needs to be like no mistakes. Like,
but I honestly feel like I'm not in a rush. I think that it's good for this to be Kamala's show right now. Like, you know, it's just like, let's get the voters, let's get people, whatever.
but
and
I think
especially because Trump's VP is like
crazy
right now. So it's like, let him get his shine of the VP of like him saying crazy shit. We got a little bit more time to just see how he
I think Kamala should announce this person within the week. Like I think like right now it's like, okay, we're high on Kamala, but eventually she's gonna have to like there are people who are like not feeling the way we're feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like I think because we're Black women, we're like, hell yeah, we're gonna put everything around them. But I feel like there are people who are Black women who need like, okay, who's her running mate? I need to feel okay about this before I would feel secure voting.
Exactly. Right.
But what'd you say? You said, who do I think?
Who do you think is on the fence? Who is the population that is?
I don't know. I mean, today I was watching MSNBC. They showed like 7 people who I like don't know anything about, but they're all white men. I mean, I feel like that was a thing.
Yeah,
I was like, she has to have a white man vice president. That's all I know.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Why was our dad talking about she should choose Westmore? Like,
and that would be that would be the losing ticket. Are you kidding?
Know, right? He was like, America's ready for that. I'm like,
no, they aren't. Are you kidding? It's funny because they did show Westmore, and he was like asked would he be like considered for. Oh my god, thank you.
No.
Considered for a vice president, and Westmore was like, absolutely not. That would be the most losing ticket I've ever seen in the United States.
Exactly. I'm like, no, daddy,
that's insane. She needs a white man who is like a moderate
and has like cookie cutter family and just like
from the Midwest who's just like white.
Yes,
swaggy
they're
a little
saying, you should choose someone, a Democrat from a swing state.
Ooh, that's smart.
Yeah, period.
I was like listening to a podcast today. They were saying your vice president pick should reflect the voters that you like need help getting, you know? So it's like, exactly. I think that's right. Like a swing state, white men probably are, it's going to be hard to like for them to get behind a Black woman. But I feel like she needs to announce that within a week, and then they need to hit the pavement. And then she also needs to hit the pop culture pavement. She needs to be on everything.
For sure. And I do think that white women, we're not going to be able to change their minds. So for the white women within the community to really like who are allied with her to just share their views, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that's a good point.
Just, you know.
And I have been seeing people on TikTok like I have been seeing like white women on TikTok being like, okay, like this is what we need to do.
I feel like she needs to be hitting the trails with Michelle Obama, because I feel like I have never seen white women swoon for anyone like have for
come on, girl.
Literally, I had my Michelle Obama book. I'll never forget, like years ago, and I was going through the Milwaukee airport. I probably got stopped by like 8 different white women on the way to my gate, being like, "Oh my god, do you just love the book?" You know, and they love Michelle Obama.
Wow.
They I feel like she needs to hit the trail with her, because I think that would be enough for them to be like, "Oh, she's like Michelle Obama. Like we love her," you know.
Yes. And I just think it's hilarious. Like I was telling Alexis, like this is the biggest plot twist.
Absolutely.
Like I could have never called this. And if somebody would have told us like
you are lying.
And then also like maybe how many months are we out from the election that like he's
How
gonna
many?
drop out, but it's like it actually just is. I'm just like, if somebody really did the strategy for this and said, we're gonna wait until the Republican
Yep,
convention is
I
over,
know.
we're gonna wait, like, and
They
then
wasted all their money on Biden ads when Biden was probably
exactly
laughing at them.
shirts. They probably took nobody's shirts, and it's just like, and I have not fact checked this, if that picture of Trump at the golf
With
course
the
is
shirt
real.
on.
Yes, but also at the golf course, it's like, this man did not get shot. Like, that was glass ricocheting. And then me and Daniel were even saying, like, the band-aid that he
Oh
had on
my
his ear was just
god.
so unserious.
There was
Like,
not an ounce of like red blood showing through it.
that thing was
It was dry,
lightweight.
okay?
A prop.
It was a
Yes,
dry
it
piece of
was
cloth.
hanging. It didn't even look taped on, like, medically. It was like, and it's
He's
just so
And then
insane.
ridiculous.
his minions come out
I
with
know.
that ridiculous piece of bullshit. It's
Bandage.
just like,
Same
what's
people who
the
won't wear
Embarrassing.
masks. Like these
Right,
people are nuts.
exactly. They
These
are
people
nuts.
are nuts.
And it's
I
very embarrassing.
I
And
think
it's,
Kamala. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I know we were talking about Amber Rose last week. I'm just
Oh
like,
God.
so are you voting for, like, like, what are you, like, it's just nobody thought that this was going to happen. So a lot of the people that I feel like
Mm-hmm.
we're talking so much shit are going to
Mm-hmm.
be eating their words and just like, oh, I would have wanted to get behind the first Black woman ever.
Absolutely, and that's why I'm like,
but that just confuses me, because it's like, you said you're not Black.
that's true. So I guess she would. I would love to talk to her about this. Like, it's just like, do you feel any connection to this woman?
I think that, and this is, never mind. I'm not even gonna say that.
Say it.
I just think that I just feel that Amber Rose is just like lost a little bit. Like, I don't know. Just
What do you mean by lost? Like she doesn't.
well,
She's
just even like her coming into this industry and being a mixed woman, but also like being like we've talked about, just like her whole career is Black culture, basically. And then, like, just her experiences with men and stuff, and just, I mean, I feel like Hollywood can make you a little crazy, and
hell yeah.
you're from like the hood in Philly. Like, it's just like, it's probably a lot. I also know, and this is not like saying anything bad about atheists or anything, or people that like don't believe in God or whatever, but I know that she is like an atheist, and she's just really strong about that. And I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like we are seeing Amber Rose just go through
But this is my thing. What she's doing is so unacceptable that there's nothing she could do to redeem herself. I don't care if she like went to a wellness center for 3 years, came back and was a different person. I still wouldn't accept her, because it's so, you're doing it at the worst possible time to do it, and you're influencing other people, and it could have like a very bad, like long effect on people.
I'm not saying that to say she can be accepted back into the cookout, but just as a, trying to see what psychologically is happening there.
No, I get you.
But yeah.
Overall, though, I was like, I'm gonna give $10 to Kamala.
I want to donate something.
I want to give something, and
and hopefully they'll have like, well, I know they'll have like shirts and stuff.
Hell yeah!
And my thing, so I was on Etsy, guys, and they have shirts, and I can only assume that, like, I don't know, I don't want to say, but they have shirts that have a comma on it and then say "la."
Oh my god. That's so fucking stupid.
That is
and bland as hell. That is the blandest thing I've ever heard.
See the thing where it was like this is Kamala's chance to like say like "Make America Laugh Again," and then like
yeah, I've seen
have
that.
like hats,
Mala hats, yeah.
Yes, I'm like, I'm here for it.
Look, I'm here for the merch. I'm buying everything Kamala. I want her in a sacred salon. I want her like on Hot Ones. I don't want her to go to the Breakfast Club though. I do not want her to go to the Breakfast Club.
Danielle's a Breakfast Club fan.
I do watch.
Oh, really?
Yes, I will say that.
That's okay. Charlemagne might have us on. We might have Charlemagne on the show one day.
Charlemagne don't want me on that show.
He would actually love it.
Love conversation and back and forth, things like that. But I do listen to the Breakfast Club. It's really gone downhill since.
That's what I've heard.
Oh yeah, and it just really has gone downhill. But I do, when I listen to when they're talking to listeners and their insight and views on the election and everything, it is really interesting to see where people's minds are, because it's mind-blowing to see how many people are on one side when you think that
we're on Trump's side.
Have they talked to anyone since the announcement and asked what are they saying?
So it's actually good. A lot of people are actually in support. A lot of men are in support.
Wow.
There was one guy that was just like, no, he I don't want to assume his race, but yeah, he was just he thinks Trump would be better. Whatever. I don't know. It sounded like a black guy, and then
wow.
And then this woman,
so hard.
This woman, she sounded like maybe she was Latina. I don't know. But
she didn't sound white.
And she didn't sound black.
She could have been black, but then she got and she was like, "So what should Hispanics do?" And I'm just Charlamagne was like, "I'm not Hispanic. I don't." Anyways, but yeah, she was kind of questioning it. She was like, "I need to do my research." She was not convinced at all.
I'm just so you want it to be Trump? I'm like,
right.
These are the options, people.
Even if you're not 100% satisfied, you're telling me you need to do your research over fucking Trump, girl.
It's never gonna be your favorite person in the universe. But this is pretty damn. If anybody, I would want somebody. And it's just, I think it's just hilarious. All the things that they were doing with Biden's age and his health.
And now we don't hear none of that with Trump.
There, exactly. This was Trump is old.
Right.
And I think I said something to you, where it's he's the oldest candidate that we've ever had or something. And so it's just
it's crazy. We were literally watching MSNBC yesterday. And they were like, so what do you guys feel about Biden? And they were like, he's too old. They were like, I'm glad he dropped out. And they were like, so what do you feel about Trump? And they're like, he's going to make America great. And it's they're God. 3 years apart? He's old too. It's crazy how they can't even think about that.
His age in office.
This is my thing. Why does a fucking 80-year-old fucking person want to work? I would be wanting to retire.
But listen, why? You watched the debate, right?
Yeah.
Why was he was like, I don't want to be here. I'd rather be doing something else.
Okay, then go.
Then do something else. Right.
So we can just move on.
At 80, I will not be chasing a job this fucking hard.
Right. But that is just...
It's very strange.
Yeah, he is just literally he loves the fandom.
Oh my God, yeah, the fandom.
I don't want to be like that. I was just going to say, it's just, I don't want to call people dumb, but it's just it's just the dumbest people that are his, followers.
Absolutely.
It's just if you want to have people that are followers, it just sucks to you have the worst fan base ever.
He don't care. He's like, as long as y'all elect me, I'll be done with you.
As long as you're gonna wear a t-shirt with Trump on it.
I feel I was just gonna say, I feel a debate. I cannot wait for a debate between them two. Kamala's gonna mop him on the floor.
I was telling you, Alexis, I doubt he will agree to that.
Oh, I don't think he'll agree.
And that's my thing. I don't think we're gonna get debating was a choice. I thought
for Trump it is.
Oh, you're right.
I think for anybody else, they would never do that.
Exactly.
Right. I'm just like, I didn't think it was the
exactly.
American people deserve to hear.
They deserve to see exactly what Alexis said, to see him get served on the stage. Like,
Oh my
he
God.
couldn't keep up. He wouldn't.
He would be speechless.
He would probably be. And the funny thing about it is, Alexis, Danielle was saying that how like Trump is, like, yeah,
absolutely,
and like Kamala is like a beautiful woman, so
hell yeah,
he's probably gonna have a moment on stage just like, wow, like you are just
absolutely. He's gonna be like, "You're a beautiful woman," but da 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 da. It's like, girl, oh my God, Kamala's gonna serve him at that point.
Yes. And I don't know if you saw this, but he donated
yes
in California.
I guarantee you he did that because she's pretty.
Exactly. And so it's just hilarious.
And I hope she brings that up. Like, well, you gave to me.
I would have a T-shirt that says, because it literally says like Kamal, like it really, like it literally says like the check is for,
like, he can't lie about it.
And they need to market. Like, I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with the Democrats, but
it just started.
I know, but I'm just like, I hope that one of their marketing tactics is like, this person that says he can be the president can't even debate me. What does that say about
Absolutely. They're gonna say
absolutely.
Like, if he says no, then they're definitely gonna.
If he still says no, I hope they still host a debate with 2 podiums and Kamala standing at one, the other one's empty. They ask questions and they literally just keep reminding people that he's not there.
Like, it should be his choice to not show up and like us to still be able to hear from her, because it should be about us, like the people, that the voters. That's what it should be about. But yeah,
I think Kamala can really do this. I just think we have to stay united with her, and she unfortunately has to be perfect, because any mistake she makes will be costly.
I just don't think she's gonna make it. Like, I'm just like,
you don't think she's gonna make
any mistakes?
Oh, okay.
Like, I feel like she is. There's just nothing you can say at this point. Like, the people are saying, like, the vice president was saying, like, she doesn't have kids. Like, how can we, like, this person doesn't have any kids, blah, blah, which is also not true. She's a stepmother to,
right.
So she knows. And it's just like, that is the dumbest argument. It's just like, they'd have nothing.
Right. Why does that matter?
Saying that she was like a slut back in the day.
I did see that.
Right. That, like, you know, she kind of got that stuff under control. You know,
like, who cares? Like,
exactly.
Most people are just like, we don't
know that these.
Who cares? She was with Montel having a good time.
Exactly. Like, and another somebody said she had good taste, because it wasn't like she was with some bums or something. So it's just like, so now I'm married and like, that is how, like, what?
I just wanted to say that.
And I'm like,
yeah,
I'll never forget. I like read some article and they were talking about how Nancy Reagan's wife, was like the biggest, like, she basically gave blowjobs to everybody. And like, she was a hoe. Yeah. And so I'm just like, y'all talking about Kamala when this girl literally was giving blowjobs to everybody in the fucking universe.
And also, these men are absolutely sluts. Okay.
Well, did you see that, like, Grindr, like, had like their highest usage, like, during the RNC debate in Milwaukee? Like, all of those men are gay. They were all on the apps trying to get their dick sucked that weekend.
Yeah.
Like, y'all are nasty.
I don't get,
like, why
they're so against it.
Because they are they're trying to deny it. No, they have so much shame.
They have so much shame, and I think they know that. I mean, I think it's
so many
shame.
Different angles, like, your ancestors, like, really did a number on black men.
I know they
It's
did.
from all angles.
Oh my god, that reminds me of stuff like Dr. Umar. Actually,
Oh yes, so we should probably move on to that topic. So
yes.
Dr. Umar is on trial today. So we watched the most recent Dr. Umar interview on
On
the
the
Breakfast
Breakfast
Club,
Club.
and so yeah, like first of all, Alexis, like
Yes,
we're
give
gonna
us your views.
we want to hear about we want to hear Alexis's views.
I want to hear your views
Also,
first.
I mean, I will say that like, and this is not about the actual interview, but overall, I will say that Dr. Umar, for one, is hilarious. Like, it is hilarious. He is like has many.
He's entertaining for
he has
sure.
many sound bites a day that will make me laugh any day. Actually, I should probably go watch some tonight.
Put one in.
Yes, I'll put a couple in here.
Yes.
Oh, plan, I ain't going nowhere. But I appreciate the concern, my beautiful African queen. I hope your hair is natural.
It takes a little bit of white brainwash to activate the coon chip.
Donations, gifts.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
To hear that because you don't live in reality. But I'm telling you, as a psychologist, I'm not going to be able to psychologize all of them on the corner. Some of them going to sleep. Fuck God!
Do you need white man paperwork?
Lord have mercy.
My ADHD stands for an ancestral diversion for my higher development. I had an ADHD moment. I had an ancestral diversion for my higher development. I had an ADHD moment.
But so yeah, and then I do feel like, I appreciate his dedication to Black people, peace and Pan-Africanism.
When he said that in the beginning, I rolled my eyes immediately.
I know that is
Bust out laughing.
exactly.
Like, oh my god.
All right, we're bust all laughing. So yeah, it's just like, I feel like some of the things that he says has merit, and like he said, Alexis, like a broken clock can be right, twice a day or whatever.
And yeah, we know his problem.
We know. I mean, this is a queer space, a queer.
Right.
So we know that. That in itself is just not. He has some issues with that, but it's funny because I feel like one thing that I do appreciate about Dr. Umar is that he gets into the men's ass.
Oh, I agree.
I feel like that is what I'm like. Okay, at least you're focusing on them and not like saying.
So, like, what did you like about what he said? Why don't we start with that? What did you appreciate about what he said?
I appreciated that he mentioned how like he started talking about like domestic violence and just, like naming the numbers about like women and Black women in particular, like having like the highest rates and numbers and having accountability in our actual community and not just like with the Diddy and Cassie thing.
Absolutely.
And so I appreciate that because it's just like nobody else is talking about that. I also liked what he was saying about I'm like kind of blanking. Did you have
I
something
know.
else?
Oh my god, let me look up. I should have took notes.
He's hilarious. I mean, him saying like the bunny hopping is hilarious whenever he talks about it. And just like I remember one time he tweeted like I love LeBron James, but I can't support his son because he's bunny hopping.
Yeah,
I'm just like, oh my god.
I know.
I know.
He is just hilarious. The bunny hopping is so funny. He said bunny hopping anonymous.
And just how people I'm sorry, I didn't
Okay.
just how people like come up assume that he may come up to them.
I know.
Yeah.
He's not thinking about y'all, but
He probably is. He definitely clocks it.
He's definitely looking at them and
I'm sure he's like,
Yeah.
I'm sure his little side eye is like seeing it or whatever.
growing.
But
Dr. Umar would hate me.
Me too, girl.
Yeah, I feel like Dr. Umar. I feel like the other thing that I feel like was nice was that he was saying how Black men and even like, I don't agree with everything that he says about like masculinity or whatever.
No, that really triggered me when he was talking about the like low emotional IQ and there should only be like one person in the relationship with it. And he was kind of insinuating that was like the woman's thing. And that if the woman had like high emotional IQ, it's like she's being masculine. And I'm like, I don't agree with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I mean, I do feel like men, and like you said, I don't necessarily agree with the fact that like a man shouldn't be emotional while like a woman's being like he basically was saying like he doesn't want, or not he that he doesn't want, it's just that like women when they're like arguing with the man, they're very emotional, and like a man is also like being as emotional as
And not trying to understand like the woman's viewpoint, I guess, or from a rational perspective, so he can then
do better.
understand and like come at it with, I don't know. I think he was just saying like men just need to digest the information first before like having emotional reaction.
But just dealing with Black men, it's just like, I think it is true of just like, just being on the same frequency as a woman when you're asking for just like, I don't know, just more time, like whatever it is, whatever the complaint is that they're bringing up, and they're just getting just as like, they're getting maybe even they're more immature, so they're just like throwing tantrums and like whatever versus like, oh, okay, like my woman like needs more time with me or whatever. I don't know.
I just have one other thing to say about that. I feel like there's a lot of counterparts like that involve that conversation, because it's like,
What does that mean?
financially, like, power dynamic. And if the Black woman is bringing in like money, then the Black man may react in a certain way. But if the man was like the power structure, more financially there, he may, I don't know. But I just know there's so many different factors to like a man's like
I don't know
how they
what it
approach
is.
stuff. I don't know either, but it's just sad. Like the record shows, like it's way more single, beautiful Black women than they are with.
Why do you think that it is?
I think. Oh well, I do know there was this video on Twitter, and maybe you saw it. I don't know if you saw it, Samantha, but like this woman was pretty much saying like, we have defined our role in life. Like y'all's role was to take care of, be the provider, and you still have not. Like now that we can provide for ourselves, you are trying to figure out your place in society.
Interesting.
And it's like,
and so they end up not being with.
So they end up going on social media, bashing women, saying, you women aren't anything unless they're in a relationship or married
or just trying to. I feel like it's just not evolving with like the time, not evolving with the women that are like
evolving.
Like, because it is the first time that we don't need a man. Like, we're making the same amount or more. Like,
it just kind of makes me, I mean, maybe, and I don't want to be like,
no, we want to hear
anti-man, but it is what it is. Like, I feel like it kind of just makes me see how, like, kind of, not, for a lack of a better word, like, weak and, like, fragile, maybe the word is, men are, because I'm like, I don't know, it reminds me, and I feel like y'all probably have seen this, like, on TikTok, there's this, like, Black gay matchmaker who matches, like, straight couples, but he specifically, like, focuses on Black women, and so Black women come to him for his services, and he constantly talks about how, like, the more he tells Black women, like, the more powerful you are, meaning, like, money or status at your job, it's going to be kind of more difficult to find a man, specifically a Black partner, because, like, and he kind of gives them examples, like, often insecure, fragile men will do things to like humble you when you get to that point. So they'll cheat on you, and he gives the example like Jay-Z and
Right.
Beyonce. Or they'll like kind of knock you off your pedestal, thinking about like Mr. Simone Biles, like acting like he didn't know who she was. They'll do different things in order to kind of humble you. And I feel like that's what I'm hearing here. It's like, now that we can provide for ourselves, they're like, so what can we do? Like, where's my place? And then it's like, okay, I guess I'll just like make fun of them on Instagram, like,
right.
it's
Or
just exposes how insecure they are.
Yeah. And
You're
there's
right.
no real foundation, I feel like, in all other cultures, races, like their men have a foundation. And one thing that I followed this guy on TikTok, and he was like just saying like Black women can't trust Black men to like we low key were like, okay, like you guys are doing it, but we still got to do our part because we don't know if y'all are able to hold it down. Like women in other cultures, like Asian women, white women, women from like the Middle East, like they know that they're men. They've created systems, structures. They've created businesses that have outlasted decades, generations, and it's like, what can we really like look to that can really,
And it's like, and the thing about it is, it's like,
I was with you on it.
Yeah, like it's just like, what can we really look to? What have you created
And
that
the thing
women can be like, oh, we trust you to take it care of us, do whatever, provide. Like,
I agree.
And I think that, like, and the thing, I was just gonna say that, like, obviously, slavery and like that has done a number on all of us. But I feel like Black women, we are so like to our detriment sometimes, like willing to put up with a man that's like growing or figuring it out or whatever.
I feel like that's most cases.
Yeah, that's most cases. And it's just like, at least I just wish there was more. And I have seen something on Twitter recently about like just, the lack of urgency some men, I will say like a lot of men I see like to heal and like do emotional work. Like it's not where it needs to be at all. Like it's
absolutely. And like, I feel like, I don't know, that's why I'm like really hesitant sometimes to like get in like knowledge, I guess you would say, from like people, just men in general, but like Dr. Umar or like Charlemagne. Because I don't know, I feel like there's like a weird sense of like arrogance to think that like you have like keys that other people need to unlock and hear from you. I don't know, I feel like that's weird. And then secondly, I feel like Charlemagne, I feel like he's been called out so many times for disrespecting Black women on his show that like at this point I'm just like, it's hard for me to take any advice from them. And I feel like, so when I was like listening, I was like, because like, because even like Monique, when she was on there, called him basically a coon. Like, like, I mean, it's just.
What did you think about?
I want to see what's going on at his school. Let me tell you that.
Yes, I want Alexis to know.
I was laughing at that part because, like, when he was talking about it's a residential school, that's when I really was like, oh, I want to know what's going on with this fucking school.
Because I have to wrap back around once.
Yes, because it reminded me of, especially when I was like going into TFA, there was this guy that was really popular named Jeffrey Canada who started the Harlem Children's Zone. Have you heard of that? It's a school, it's a residential school in Harlem. Okay. And the whole concept is what Dr. Umar was saying, like, these kids come from like really tough neighborhoods in Harlem. We're gonna put them in like this building and try to like train them, as Dr. Umar says. And I feel like then it came out that it was like the most harmful place, and like it was actually really anti-Black, the stuff they were learning there, because they were kind of learning that nothing good comes from their neighborhoods. And I kind of made me think, like, I feel like that's kind of what Dr. Umar is like not saying, but that's the message. Like, he's like, because he said words like, he was like, we need to train them. And I was just like, and he was just like, and that's why I had to have a residential school, because I had to take them out of that environment. I'm like, well, there's like funds of knowledge in all of these types of places, right? Even in like the worst part. I mean, for example, I taught in the 53206 zip code, which at the time was the most incarcerated zip code in the country. And there was still beautiful, amazing things that parents that I trusted, and I would have never thought of having a residential school in that neighborhood. And so I guess it was just kind of like, I was like, oh, he has some kind of, I feel like in my mind, a little bit of like healing he needs to do a little bit, because like it seems like he thinks there's like deficits there, when some people could reframe that and think about it in a different way. Yes, obviously violence is bad, right? You shouldn't be living in a neighborhood that's, you know, riddled with violence, but there's also other stuff besides violence there, you know? And so it was just, I don't know, that was interesting to me. So I was like, I really want to know what's going on in his fucking school.
What did you think about when he was talking about like the N-word, how he shouldn't say the N-word?
How we shouldn't say it?
Yeah, he was like, he thinks that none of us should be saying it. And he said that when
I'm scared to say, this is my thing. It's
hold on,
funny.
I want to say what
Go
he said. He was like, if somebody is like, oh yeah, my nigga's coming over here, or something like that, like, oh yeah, my nigga's coming over, it's like you don't have an image of like a doctor or whatever. So he was like, it's nothing positive when you hear that.
Funny because he says it with so much passion, so it's so funny.
I know, it's so much.
You know what's funny? I don't have a problem with someone saying the N-word, but I do feel like I remember I had a conscious choice probably when I was in college to not really use it, and I feel like a little uncomfortable using it. Not because, well, now I feel uncomfortable because I feel like I haven't used it enough that I feel like I'm like using it weirdly. But I feel like for me it was kind of just like, I see it as a slur, so I'm not using it. But I don't have a problem with other people using it, and I do feel like there's a place for it. And I feel like no one's ever using the N-word in a way where they're trying to talk about a fucking doctor. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I know. It did make me think though, because I was like, I feel like I do maybe say it in not a negative way, but it's just like,
absolutely,
niggas, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, it's not, and it does, like, in that way, it makes me feel weird.
But this is the thing, I feel like you use it in the perfect way, that like when you say that, you're like trying to curate the picture of like a bum, you know, exactly, like a black bum who's like,
no. I feel like I don't want.
Okay, maybe I'll take that back.
But I will say, I mean, sometimes it is like obviously, you know, people use it and just like, you know, niggas ain't shit. Like we complain about.
But who do you mean by that N-word? You don't mean a doctor. You mean like a.
I just mean just like somebody that's getting on my nerves.
Exactly.
But and that's why I was just like, okay, I'm not using like, but I feel like I'm like, I don't really call anybody like my niggas, like, you know.
It's interesting because I feel like Kid Fury used it a lot at the comedy show. Like, he was like, I love performing for N-words, and I was just like, oh, okay, like. At least he said it for us.
I feel like they do like the read and stuff talk like they do like talk. They like call us N-word.
Well, Danielle, what are your thoughts? Like, what are your thoughts on the N-word?
I don't ever feel like bad when somebody refers to me as, like, it feels like a term of endearment. It just made me think. I was just like, wow, we do have a lot of trauma, and like, why are we holding so dearly
to that word? Yeah.
So, what do you think, Danielle?
I agree.
What do you think, girl? When do you say
that? Obviously, when, you know, singing songs. Yeah, like, just when you're like, you know, talking shit.
Yeah. Just talking. Like, I don't even really know when I be saying it. I just say it.
But like, I feel like in my impression, when you use it, there's like a picture of like a person in my mind who comes to mind. It's not a doctor. It's like bum.
Like just somebody that's like a deadbeat dad or
exactly.
Yeah, I picture like one of those guys that like try to talk you on the street. And then they're like, and then when you like walk past them, they're like, "Oh, free! I didn't want to talk to you anyway."
Yes. That's exactly it. And so I feel like it's the perfect word for that. I just feel like I don't know why I stopped using it. I feel like I remember Oprah being like really against the word.
Against it. You didn't know that, Haley?
Oh yeah.
Because it was like a big deal.
Yes.
On the show, and they talked about it, and I would actually love to like rewatch that and just see what that. Because I just remember.
I think he was talking about like reclaiming it, and there's truth to that.
There is truth to that.
I guess I just never.
But it's just like at this point,
we're
trying to heal our trauma.
I wonder though if
we want to respect each other.
And that's the thing. I wonder if reclaiming it unfortunately made white people think it was okay. Because I feel like now we hear, like, sometimes we see white people like screaming the N-word at a concert, and I wonder if like they're like, oh, it's cool now. Like,
oh my God, I was listening to we're like shouting out all the podcasts we listen to today. Don't Call Me White Girl.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about it, and it's just like they sometimes around like they were talking about like, do they care if people that aren't black use it? And
absolutely.
But they were saying that like, they're around people sometimes that are just like Latina or whatever. That just like they are, they're just whatever. They're
and that's enough to lose your black card to me. Like that's enough to lose your black card to me.
I'm like, I do feel like it. I think that way more people use it than we think.
And I wonder if that's a product of like us using it so casually that people think that.
And also just letting other people like say it.
Do y'all let other people say it around you?
Hell no. Not people. Exactly. That's why it's surprising to me, because I'm just like, but I just
So I'll never forget a friend of mine who we both know, his name rhymes with Schmigel. He like was somewhere and he like was next to some white girl who was rapping lyrics. Remember that song that was like Gucci Gucci, Fendi Fendi, something something Prada, basic bitch. It's like basic bitches wear that shit, but I don't even bother, or something like that. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was
I don't even know.
It was Sweetie. It was Sweetie. Rich. N-word, something. That's my type. That's my type. That's my type.
That's my type.
So literally, he was standing next. He went to like a group of friends, like went out in DC, and like they were with this random ass white girl, and the song came on, and she starts singing it like full throated, like saying the N-word, and he was just like, I don't know what to do, because like I'm like not a black person, so I feel like they might be like, why do you care so much? Yeah. But then also just like, it was the weirdest thing. I don't ever want to hang out with this person ever. Right. And it's just like, wow, like white people, well, just non-black people really be saying it. And a lot of people have shit to say about Cardi B saying it too. Like, I feel like
that was who I was thinking about. They mentioned Cardi B in that conversation.
And I want to talk about that. It makes me think of Jhené Aiko, and like apparently she used to say the N-word, and then she said she did like an ancestry test and like stopped saying it when she realized like the black was like the lowest percentage in her. And so I'm like,
she did.
People for some reason don't give a damn what Cardi B does.
I mean, she just is like, it's just like, she not gonna let go of that word. She's not letting go of that word.
Well, like,
which is just crazy.
It is, and she's with a black man who permits it. To me, I'm like, you should be giving your fucking card away too.
Maybe she needs to get her ancestry done.
Because Dr. Umar talks about Dominicans too on the interview.
What did he say?
Well, he talks about how like basically they're not black. Like he basically was like, he was like, we have Puerto Ricans, and that's when the Dominicans come in, and all these things. And he basically was trying to make the point that like they aren't fully black, and so I mean, I feel like race is so true.
Obviously, is a thing.
It is a thing, and that is true. But is she Afro-Latino? Like, I need to see her parents.
Yeah, no, I don't think Cardi B is. Which is like,
that's a wild.
I mean, somebody showed me. I did see her parents, and
what they look like.
They just look like white
Latino.
Latina.
Oh, white Latino.
What?
Oh, wow.
But I don't. But like that's why she should get her ancestry done. But it
She
is.
should.
Both of her parents are fucking Dominican or whatever. She shouldn't be like, you know.
Right. Let's look it up. Let's see what's
And
going on with
honestly,
her.
I need to educate myself more on just like the diaspora and
Same.
because people that are like obviously Black people were taken to
everywhere.
like into the island. Like that is how we got there. You know what I'm saying?
This word was derived from slavery in this country. And
That's a good point.
Were they using it in? I'm curious if they were using the N word in like other countries.
I don't know anything about that.
We're getting in real territory.
Is her name?
Guys.
Okay, so allegedly her. I think is this her father? Oh, Al. Who's Al? Is her real name Al Menzar?
Yeah.
She identifies as Afro-Latino allegedly. Let's see.
And the crazy part is, like, she does look Afro-Latino.
I mean,
like,
her hair is
Cardi B's hair is thick, and so
I don't know what she needs to do, but what I know is that she needs to have a thought process of like her positionality in the Black woman community. That like she can pass at times, especially when her hair is straight for just Latina. She is light skinned. She like, you know, like her ancestry isn't Black American. She needs to have a lot of these types of realizations. Even if she, you know, by the grace of God is Afro-Latina, it's like, you still should be very careful with throwing around the N-word because your experience is not the same as like the rest of us.
Just having respect for like, you know, other people's experience. Like, it's just, we all have to do that. Like, and it's humbling, you know what I mean? It's humbling to be told, like, you actually need to respect this space because X, Y, Z.
She would say F you to that. You said that to her.
But it's just like, I do feel like Black people, we need to be protected. We need to have more respect for each other because it's just because the bar is so low right now. It's like we have to like take serious measures, and like you said, like just becoming more serious about ourselves, like it was back in the day. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Well, I was just gonna say two things. I think like it goes to what we're saying. It's like when we don't respect each other or we take things so casually, it gives like other people permission to do like to treat us poorly as well. Thinking about the N-word situation. But then also I did agree with Dr. Umar on like the voting blocks and like just needing to organize. Like Black people need to like get on the same page. Because we are powerful when we are on the same page, and it would truly move like mountains.
We're seeing it. We're seeing the proof of it.
Exactly.
We're seeing it.
Exactly. And I agreed with that. I did. What was the other thing I didn't agree with? There was something else where I was like laughing. I was like, I don't agree with this.
The mental health stuff.
What was that about mental health again?
It was like he was saying like don't get your kid tested for
and then he was also talking about like special ed or at some point, and I was like,
that they like want you to like they get paid as soon as like they get more money when you're when they have.
And he said people turn to him for special ed, like you know, like and I was like,
he said he is a licensed psychologist.
From what school? I would love to know. Trump University? Like, this is insane.
Not Trump University.
This is insane. Like, who gave him a degree? Oh my God, this picture's hilarious. I just, like, Googled him and, like, this picture showed up.
Hilarious.
This is the thing. I am convinced Dr. Umar has a white wife. I am convinced at this point.
Oh my God.
Supposedly he has 2 wives.
I saw that. Okay. So Millersville University. Where is this?
Pennsylvania.
Millersville, Pennsylvania. Okay. Let's see their acceptance rate.
It was founded in 1855. The first
it's an old school. Let's see their acceptance rate.
He is from Philly.
It has a 92% acceptance rate. So pretty much anyone who applies gets in.
Alexis, don't be like that.
Let me not do that. You know, I'm happy that he's a psychologist.
Education is an education.
Oh
Education is
I
everything.
do want to say, I just wanted to give you all some
Background.
Yes, give us some background.
I lost it here. But the word, the N word, I don't want to say it. Yeah, so the N word, it actually, you know, Negro, Neor, all of those terms from like the romance time, romance words, meaning black, pretty much. And then when the slaves started to be shipped over to, the Virginia colony, it says in 1619, they used that word.
Nigar.
Yes. And
Nigar.
they say that the English language of the word nigger is, was a word for dark-skinned individual.
Mm.
And then, so in the 18th and 19th century, the word also described an actual labor category.
That is crazy.
It's crazy. So hearing this, like, what's your thoughts? Like,
I don't want to use it anymore.
Yeah, I definitely want to be very mindful, and I don't want to inflict pain. Like, I don't
have to know our history.
And I want my ancestors to be proud of me. Like, I don't want to, like, see them in the afterlife and they're like, I was caught nigger on my deathbed. And then I'm like,
right.
I feel bad.
And also just like, they were just like, why? Like,
yeah. And I feel like, hearing people say, that's the last word some Black people heard before they died and stuff. It's like hard for me to like want to use it.
And we are just literally like, we are so close to that trauma. Like when I look at the dates on stuff, I'm just like,
Ruby Bridges is still alive. They were
my God.
wanted to hang her.
We were born in the 1900s.
Like
1992.
I mean, we're so young. Like literally, I think about like my mother. She talks about like going down to South Carolina when she was younger, like every year, and my grandmother packing like full dinners and lunches for the whole day because they couldn't stop. Like they knew that like stopping in certain places in South Carolina on the way to get food and pee would be like a very bad situation. And this is a person who's alive now, like.
Oh my God. And remember, like, people should be alive. Like Martin Luther King and all that stuff. I don't know how old Martin Luther King would be now, but
he'd be old.
But
he'd be old enough to be alive, though. He could be alive.
Like, I was in this week. It was so wonderful. I went to the Mahogany bookstore.
Oh, I love Mahogany in Silver Spring.
It was actually at the National Harbor.
Oh, they must have 2 locations.
I'm sure they have. Hopefully they have a lot more. But yeah, like it was just so amazing to be in there. Like it just gave me so much pride. Like every book was Black. Like everything, and it just.
But they do need to step it up, though, because one time I ordered a book from them and it took them like 3 months to get it to me. But yes.
Oh no. but yeah, like it was just really beautiful. And then when I went in there, they were playing the "I Have Your Dreams."
What?
Yeah, it was like quiet, and I was like playing.
And then you hear "I Have a Dream."
Yes,
was it eerie?
It was definitely like I felt because I
you were
was
on the steps of Washington. That's what you felt
was
like.
on the phone with my mom, and so I did feel like weird, like talk. Like I was like,
like let me talk.
Like I was just like, let me be like like just be respectful. Like it was quiet up in there.
No, I'm curious.
Nope, it was just me walking around because it was the middle of the day because I was there for like an appointment around. But it was also very humbling because like they were talking about police brutality.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And it's just like this is the same. It's wild. It was always a reality check to hear them call it the same things, and we're still talking about it. And we
happened yesterday.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
there was another
in Chicago, right?
tragedy.
Or maybe it wasn't Chicago.
Illinois. It was in Illinois.
Illinois. Sonia Massey.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Called the police.
Isn't it scary to think though when they came she was like, "Don't hurt me" or something like that, and it's like, oh my god, like that's like your gut. I was telling Julia like that's your intuition telling you something's gonna happen, and he was like, "Why would I hurt you?" And then turns out she gets shot within the next 30 minutes, you know.
And then apparently her family came out and
I
said,
saw that.
yes,
That they didn't even know police were involved in the shooting. They thought it was an intruder.
No.
They said it was a suicide.
Yeah, like her basically they didn't know until the video footage released that it was a police shooting. They thought she died by some other reason.
Yeah.
What? No.
That shows you the cover up. That shows you the cover
first
up.
time I'm hearing that. That's fucking wild. I was gonna say that one of her ancestors was sadly hung
Oh my god.
in the same place.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just like a weird karma like that is happening again. It is just so
that
crazy
person, I think
sad.
the police officer is charged with first-degree murder. I'm like, he's really going to jail. Like for them to charge him that quickly and with first-degree murder, he's going to jail.
Because it was literally, it's the scariest thing because it's like the pictures just look like if anybody called the police, if any black person, which right, chilling,
making
calling
tea like she was doing.
exactly, calling because
They want help, and then they end up hurting you.
Right. Shooting you, motherfucker.
That's
Like,
why I was really
wrong with
appreciative
you?
of like Dr. Umar talking about Trump and how he was like he wants to give 100% immunity to police. It's like this situation wouldn't even see a courtroom if this is a Trump presidency. It would just be like, oh, he got scared. But this is my thing. If you're that scared to be a police officer where anybody just turning around is enough for you to pull your trigger, you're not qualified for the job.
Period.
Like you're not built like
Oh,
that.
a trigger?
100%.
You're a grown ass man.
One thing that America is just filled with contradiction. And you would think that America's police force would be like these strong, like
right.
like supermen,
Right. Not at all.
And they're fucking.
I mean, that's the stereotype.
They're fat.
Too. It's
They're
They're
like
dumb.
donuts.
They're the. I don't want to say this, but low-key, I don't want to say this because it's not. I don't. Oh god.
They're
not,
fat.
They're
dumb. And they're like the people who almost fell out of high school. They're useless.
And they're mad. Like the white people, the white men that become the police officers, it's like they are mad. They're just mad at their own position.
Right. I'm like, why are you? You're not built like that. You're not cut out for the job if you're like so scared of a black woman just sitting in her house.
And it's just like, you would never do this if it was a white person.
Absolutely not.
Ever. Asian.
Hell.
Anyway.
We all see those videos randomly that pop up on your Twitter of like a white woman literally putting her hands on a police and still survives and lives to see the day. Yeah. So it's just like, no. And these people are crazy. They're not cut out for the job.
Black people,
they don't.
The minute they get a call and they see it's a black person on the end, they're immediately scared. Yeah. They're not cut out for the job.
Exactly.
Immediately like on guard. Like,
or just wanting. Like it feels like you wanted to use your gun.
Oh,
nobody is trying to shoot you.
And now he knows he's going to jail too, because like after he shot him, he was freaking out. He was just like, "Oh my gosh!" And it's like he knew immediately this isn't gonna be good. Like
so disgusting.
I'm going to jail.
It's just like you need to go to jail because
absolutely. He's going away for a long time. And I hope they televise this court case. Yes. I'll be watching the whole way through because I'm just like, I want more people to see like how policing really looks, Because I'll never forget, me and Julia went on a road trip once and like I was driving the car, I was speeding.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And like I get pulled over. It was my first time ever getting pulled over. I never had a ticket. They immediately like put me in the police car in the back, trying to like run my plates to make sure that I like didn't have any other necessary things. And then they realized I was fine, so they had me come back out the car and they give me a $90 ticket. When I tell you, 20 minutes down the road, we switch immediately. Julia gets in the passenger seat. 20 minutes down the road,
She gets in the driver's seat.
She gets in the driver's seat. Julia gets pulled over. 20 minutes later, the person just is like, ma'am, like you kind of like swerved into the lane. Are you a little tired? She's like, yeah, you know, we're on a road trip. We're a little tired. They're like, oh, okay, well, just like try to get some water and rest. And like, warning, I'm just going to give you a warning. Bye. Nothing. Within 20 minutes, we get pulled over in the same state, in the same probably district.
Yeah.
Would you say?
What state was this?
Where were random. Y'all? I think we were in like either Colorado or like New Mexico. It was something random.
Interesting.
But it was just like within 20 minutes, we're in the same fucking probably police district. Right. I get an immediate $90 ticket, get put in the back of a police car, and I've never had any tickets in my life. While she's been pulled over before with like, you know, different tickets, and she gets a warning and it's nothing. It's just like people really need to see what policing looks like.
Yes. And Alexis, you do not. Like Alexis does not drive over the speed limit. Like speeding for Alexis was probably like literally 5 miles.
Exactly. And I feel like that's why I love when this shit is televised, because I'm just like, I want white people to have to face this. Like they need to see what it's like.
I just feel like
a walk in the park.
Sadly, I feel like white people, because we've had trials. Like I'm sick of just black people getting killed because I just know that a lot of white people, and just in general, like, you know, it is hard to face these true facts. And it's just like I know the mental gymnastics that people do to avoid accountability or just looking guilty in any way or whatever, and it's just like we just want to be acknowledged. We just don't want to be gaslit.
Right.
We want to be like, yep, I see it too. It's happening. You're not crazy.
And that's what happened in South Africa. Like that is one thing during the apartheid, or I don't even know during like how they ended that. But I do know that they acknowledged that they were wrong.
Yes.
It was like, okay, now we can live in harmony.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard?
You know what? I do want to hear, this is like different, but before we like end, I do like, you just made me think of Tyla. You know how people have like really upset with her about the colored versus black thing? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
You need to tell me about
that. Basically she like identifies as colored, and so when she said that, people were like, oh my fucking god, because you know, like if you heard colored in America, right, we would be like, what the fuck did you just, it's pretty much the N-word.
That's
like
colored girl.
Exactly. And so she was like, so they were just kind of, a lot of people there's been controversy because a lot of people are like, it doesn't, like, apparently in South Africa, that is like what she is. You know, she is called.
What they
like,
use.
She's not black, she's colored. And I think there is a separate category for black that look like me and you. You know, she doesn't look like us, obviously. And I feel like a lot of people have been like, well, it doesn't matter. Like, she's making her, kind of like Amber Rose, like she's making her money in a black space. She needs to like come correct if she's going to try to be in Black American lane. What? But then there's been people but Tyla's kind of like, I'm not speaking on it anymore. Like, you know, they try to ask her about it at the Breakfast Club, and she was like, I'm not speaking about this anymore. So what are y'all's thoughts?
I feel like first, well, you want to go ahead first?
No, you go.
Again, in the black community, we have a way bigger fish. We have way bigger fights.
That's real.
Yes.
Like, first
that's
of all,
real.
Colored is more derogatory than black. So it's just like, if that's what they use in her country and that's how she identifies, then okay, who cares? Like, I don't give a F.
That is hilarious.
It's so weird.
No, that's real. I agree with that.
That is very real. We agree. Harp on the realest thing. I mean,
and
about the weirdest thing.
Yes, and the things that just like don't affect our lives at all.
Exactly. And I think you're right. like if that's just this is like a cultural
Exactly.
difference that is happening, and we know that their shit is like.
I feel like sometimes, yes, I agree. I feel like sometimes Black Americans think that like we're the only like Black to exist in the sense that like, yes, there's other cultures of Blackness in other countries, and of course they would have different language, different, you know, terms, and she's coming from a different place, and we should understand that she's going to probably use their language.
I think we honestly, as the Black people, need to start collecting this data of all the different types of Black people that there are, what we, you know, like what our cultures are in these places, so that we can know, you know.
I agree,
like,
actually. I agree with that, actually.
Like the Black people in France, like, you know, like what is the culture? The Black people in London, the Black because I don't know enough, you know.
That's
like
true.
And we all have different experiences, and we need to, I mean, on a global scale, we need to respect and love ourselves.
And I think that's a good thing. I think what you just said is really smart. Like, we really, there should be some type of like almanac or like book about this, because
it's only going to grow.
It would only be like, you know, positive for us. We would learn more about Blackness, you know, like it. But I agree. I feel like, Danielle, you hit it on the head. Like, there's bigger fish to fry. And if we're literally caring more about this than like voting and police brutality and all this other shit, then it's just stupid. Exactly. It's stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah.
The Breakfast Club tried to ask her about it. And her publicist was like, nope.
Charlemagne's like doubling down. And,
I know.
Why? I know.
Oh, you watched the interview?
I didn't watch it.
I saw a clip of it. Yeah. Because like he was like, oh, we can't ask you that.
And he's problematic. Like
he is.
He wants a laugh.
He wants to
absolutely.
And he likes
provocative.
He likes hard conversations. Like a conversation that would be hard for somebody, like maybe even triggering for somebody who's willing to be like,
absolutely, absolutely,
you know. So
yeah,
absolutely, and like, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think that he's getting his own show, because I'm like, I feel like he just needs to have his own space, because whenever DJ MB or anybody else, it's just like, okay.
He has a podcast with this white guy, which is
really. I did not know that.
Like it's.
I thought I saw something where he was interviewing people, but
and that's another thing. I do think because he interviewed LL Cool J,
so maybe,
yes, brilliant idiot.
Oh yeah,
I just think that like they. I just want people. I agree. I think he wants the clickbait. He wants the moment. And I think sometimes it comes at the detriment where he ends up like disrespecting the Black community at the end of the day. I mean, I was done once they had Candace Owens. I was like, I'm not listening anymore. And like,
so hard to I couldn't even finish that interview.
Yes, and he was just allowing her to just speak lies and just being like, oh, okay, so it, like, and trying to find logic and shit she was saying, and then kind of being like, oh, so Candace, you know, you actually love Black people. It's like, no, this woman doesn't, and like, and. But I agree. It's like he wants, but I feel like at what point is it like, at what cost? You know, it's like, okay.
At what cost?
Yeah.
When he like likes the fact that he can say something and like it not be true. Like he will say the most wildest shit. And like DJ MB's like that's not true, everybody. Like,
right. And it's like, at what cost? Like, are you willing to disrespect us? Like, are you willing to lose your reputation? Like, it just shouldn't be worth it at a certain point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we maybe as a Black community need to ask ourselves: at what cost?
You sound like a Yanya Vincent.
Not like, on my watch.
Not on my watch. She's insane. Yeah. But we can talk about her another day.
Yeah,
she's crazy.
Let's end it on this note.
Yes.
This was such an amazing.
This is so fun.
Danielle will be back on the show.
Yes, it was so natural.
Yes. We will have her back so much more now. She'll be a regular on the show.
Absolutely. Maybe every like 10, so like 30, 40, 50, like you'll be there. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, we love you guys. Make sure you email us your discussion questions or just who you want to be on trial, or
Yes.
even DM them.
Yeah, or
yes.
DM
Oh my
us.
gosh.
That's a good idea.
Wait, and I meant to tell you, we did actually have a request for something to be on trial, but we didn't hit it this week because I knew Danielle was gonna be here. But I should have told you. Hold on, I'm pulling it up.
Oh man,
I'm putting it up. I should have said it. We will get to this next week, listener. Oh, okay. Someone wants us to watch the Simone Biles documentary and give us our thoughts on her.
Perfect. Okay, put it on my list. I will be watching it, and we will be talking about it.
We'll talk about it next week.
Yes. All right. Bye.
See ya.
Thank you so much for listening. Remember to email us your discussion topics at whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com. Also, remember to subscribe to Who Am I to Judge podcast on Spotify and everywhere you get your podcast. If you love us, please rate us and review. And if you don't, leave us alone. Tell a friend to tell a friend. See y'all next week. Bye, friends.